we're going to introduce our model for virtual presence, our best practices model, which breaks down into these 4 areas of advanced prep, basic platform skills, collaboration skills, and dynamic engagement skills, very cleverly spelling ABCD. So let's do a quick review of these, quick overview. Reggie, you can take us to the next slide. So what do we mean by advanced prep skills? We're talking about getting clear on who's the audience. Do I really know this audience? What's my goal? And can I really design my communication to fit the audience, fit the goal, the purpose? So that's where your content and design comes in. And it's not just the design of your deck, it's also really designing how does this whole interaction happen, right? How are we starting? How are we connecting with them? Then there's our content. How are we interacting with them? How are we structuring Q&A? Teaming, what are the roles on our team, and getting clear on all that and the timing that each person has. Getting clear on the technology platform. Are we familiar with that platform if it's the client's platform? And perhaps most importantly, we're going to talk more about this later, rehearsal. Let's go to the next slide. What do we mean by basic platform skills? It's everything that many of us have been just learning so much about for the last couple of months, getting to know the intricacies of Zoom, being your own TV studio, yes, visual and audio best practices. How do I eliminate interruptions? I actually have 2 locked doors here to prevent my children from finding their way in here. 1 locked door is not enough. Eliminating interruptions, getting silence. This idea of a team review, that actually it's great to have others' eyes on your setup, others' eyes and ears. And then in terms of the technology itself, who's controlling the deck, who knows the interaction tools and how to use them properly. So all of these are important. Let's move on, Reggie. What do we mean by collaboration skills? Quite often you are presenting with a team. What are the roles? There's a host role who's handling the technology like Reggie is today. There's a lead presenter role. There are team roles. Who's presenting what on the team? How are those different roles interrelating? How do we create space for each other? How do we not talk over each other? Are we doing too many me toos when we're trying to answer client questions? Also, what's the voice that you're bringing in a given moment? Right now, I'm kind of doing the play-by-play. Reggie could come in and do the color commentary right now. Put some photos of play-by-play and color commentary people. We find that's a particularly nice way to kind of interact with colleagues, where you sort of have the 2 heads are better than one. Someone's filling in the extra info sometimes. And it creates for a nice flow. Next slide. Final bit here is dynamic engagement skills. Why do we need these? People are distracted. People are feeling distanced from us. There's a lot of screen fatigue out there. So next slide. Thank you. So by dynamic engagement skills, we're referring to emotional engagement, right? How do I actually get my client to feel something? Not just take in the content on a logical level, but they're actually interested, engaged. So how do I have a more dynamic screen presence, right? I'm actually using gestures, using facial expression. I'm changing my voice. I am proactively facilitating, right? So I'm encouraging involvement, and I'm trying to find ways to re-engage participants who might have tuned out, are feeling bored, disengaged, doing something else. Can I, in a sort of graceful and non-threatening way, sometimes call on people to get their involvement? So using different techniques to do that. But let's do a little overview right now. Reggie, next slide. We call this our virtual presence self-assessment. So what are your strengths and challenges? And when you think about your team, could be a team you presented with recently, could be a team you're going to present with soon.